Good morning.
Good morning.
One of our subjects for this month is unity. And it's about the most uplifting experience that people can have. I had a pretty uplifting couple of weeks this last couple of weeks. And I think it started with going to a TM Center group meditation, which they've started to do on Friday nights. That's Transcendental Meditation. So I did that, and then Saturday, Maggie and I went to the Oneness Center in Fresno, and we went to this Oneness Blessing thing, and there was this man, Peter, from out of town who does that. And I've done it a couple of times before, not with him there, but I didn't, see any particular effects. But this time we stayed for a couple of sessions instead of just one, and I think we were probably meditating maybe 3 hours that afternoon. So at the end of that, I did have an experience that was really interesting, and I had been reading the Tao of Physics again, and this time I understood a lot more than I did the last time, which was a long time ago. And in that book, they're comparing scientific experiments and the reportings of the mystics and how they are saying the same thing. And one of the things that they talk about is the universe arising and disappearing, arising and disappearing. And so at the end of this session, I started having that experience. I'm sitting there and I'm watching people leave the audience, get up, leave the audience, get up, leave the audience. But my mind is not doing what it ordinarily would do, which is saying to myself, oh, I like her dress, or oh, I wonder what that person's name is. It wasn't doing anything. It's just watching, rising and disappearing. And that's what Eckhart Tolle talks about when he tells us he wants us to be here now, is in that space, that gap where there is no thought. The universe just arises and goes away, and so if we live that way, things wouldn't bother us. And that's kind of what we aim at too when we're meditating, is the thoughts arise and then they go away, and we're just watching. We're not engaging in a conversation with those thoughts, we're just watching. So that was a cool experience. And then the next couple days, there were a couple of people who came from here down to visit me, and we had lunch, and that was fun. We'd never done that before with each other. And then the next day, my friend Helen from Yuba City, from high school friend, came down and stayed with me, and I hadn't seen her in a while, and that was really fun to do. And then Wednesday night, Maggie took me to see Yanni for my birthday. That is a really, really worthwhile concert. He is so dynamic and very generous with the stage. He has a lot of really excellent musicians, and he lets several of them give solos, and their drummer would knock your socks off. It's a very, very interesting concert. And we saw people from here or there to visit with, and that was fun. And Maggie stayed overnight, and yeah, we hung out for my birthday day, so we went to lunch, and she took me to the Apple store. I've never seen it before, and I don't know what any of those machines are, and all those 4- and 5-year-olds know what they're doing there, so that was and so that was a day of some flowers and some gifts and some phone calls from family and stuff like that. Then the next night was Friday again, and so that was another group meditation at the TM Center. And that night they had some cake and candles and sang happy birthday to me. And I like it when each year I get to have that group sing their version of happy birthday, because it's happy CC, happy GC, happy unity to you, which means cosmic consciousness, God consciousness, and of course unity. So I always kind of feel like that's good luck for the year. So they did that. And then that night started the Olympics. And that opening ceremony, and I suppose the closing one too, is the closest to a man-made unity experience that you could get. There is all those twinkling lights. There's this enormous sensation of joy, of camaraderie between the countries, of love between the teammates, and health and wealth and those are qualities that if you were having a unity experience, that is what you would experience. So since then, I've had one hand on the clicker for the mute button and one hand on the Dow physics thing for the commercials. Watching, and this morning, my favorite of all time, Federer in tennis, made so many British people very happy by losing to Andy Murray, who is theirs. They were overjoyed. So it's been very, 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 very fun 2 weeks, very uplifting 2 weeks. September, the first Wednesday in September in the morning, we're going to start a class and we're going to call it Spiritual Olympics. And we're going to be working out and practicing all of our most effective techniques so that we get to experience in our lives these qualities of unity.
All right.